Now we're on the roof. I've already loaded all the tools and Fallban parts onto the roof. These are mid braces, diagonal braces, and a few parapet clamps. This is a 1/4-inch cable. These are cable clamps. Here we have high visibility flag line. These are cable corner roller assemblies. These are safety snap pins. These are stanchion to wall rests. These are stanchions, and one of them has a stanchion support plate attached. These are stanchion support plates. The ones with a pigtail loop are cable termination anchor plates. 400 and 500 foot kits now include a metal storage pallet. While installing the Fallban system, we'll be using harnesses, ropes, lanyards, and personal anchors. Another option would be to use a tie-off cart to pull around the roof perimeter as you go instead of the personal anchors, or use any other fall protection at your choice. There you go. When you're using a ladder to access the roof, or if you need an access area for loading materials or removing tear-off materials, you'll need to start and stop the cables on those stanchions. This will also require diagonal braces. While no one is using the ladder, you should use a chain or a rope as a gate. I usually mark 10-foot intervals along the perimeter of the area to be protected. You can see I've already done this to save time. Here we have a metal edge with a wall below. Set the stanchion on the edge of the roof. Now mark the stanchion so the stanchion to wall rest is against the wall. For all the stanchions with this similar wall detail, the stanchion to wall rest will be adjusted the same. Okay, the next attachment we're going to show you is when there is no wall below. Here we take a stanchion, remove the stanchion to wall rest, install the extension bar here, and install the stanchion to wall rest here. Next, set it on the roof and make adjustments so it fits snug. Now adjust all these stanchions in the same manner. Next step is to lay out the individual pieces that will be used, setting each piece approximately 6 or 7 feet from the roof edge. Stanchions on each corner and 20-foot intervals with mid-braces between the stanchions and diagonal braces at the corners. If while you're laying out pieces you come up with a longer than 10-foot space, just add another complete stanchion in that area. Complete stanchions can be installed consecutively if the spacing is no greater than 10 foot. Also lay out the corner roller assemblies and anchor termination plates. Okay, now it's time to attach the stanchions and diagonal braces. Set the stanchion on the edge of the roof, rest against the wall, while the stanchion stands erect, attached with number 12 or larger screws or lag bolts. Corners usually only need 1 stanchion and 2 diagonal braces, but here with this offset, we're installing 2 stanchions. For the OSHA compliance testing, we used 1.5" by number 12 screws when installing the stanchions, diagonal braces and mid braces, etc. The screw we used is made for insulation attachment on roof decks. The securement and attachment of this system is the responsibility of the installer. We recommend always using new, no smaller than 1.5" by number 12 screws to install the Fallban. Be cautious not to strip out the screw heads. This will make removing the screws no problem during disassembly. Okay, all the stanchions are in place, diagonal braces and cable corner rollers are installed. Now we'll run the 3 cables on this roof. Unroll a 1/4" cable along the perimeter of the roof. And an easy way is to secure the end of the cable either at a stanchion or at a cable termination anchor. Put a broom handle through the roll of cable, hold the broom handle on both sides of the roll of cable, and walk along the perimeter to unroll the cable along the entire area to be protected. Next, start where the cable was secured and hook the cable to the top cable holder on each stanchion, or a lower cable holder if only 2 cables are being used, whatever is required to achieve 45-inch height at the top of the top cable. Pull the cable fairly tight as you go all around this area, and put a cable clamp at the end on the holding side of the last stanchion to hold the cable taut while the remaining cables are being set in place. Another option is when you get to the last stanchion, simply turn the cable down to the next lower cable holder and finish unrolling that roll of cable back towards where you started. When your cable comes to an end, connect the end of the cable with the beginning end of another roll of cable using 2 cable clamps. When installing the cable clamps, turn the tightening sides of the clamps in opposite directions. When you get to the end, pull the cable taut and install a cable clamp on the holding side of the last stanchion. Repeat this process until all the cables being used are installed. This is the easiest way to start a cable. Or you can attach the cable to a cable termination holder. If you put the ratchet pullers here, you can start like this, or you can stop like this. In this case, we're stopping like this. Then use the ratchet pullers to tighten the cables. Now it's time to install the mid braces. We'll set each one in place, but don't tighten the J-hooks now. That'll be done later. Everything's ready to tighten the cables. On long runs, sometimes it's necessary to install a diagonal brace on a stanchion midway. Tighten the cables to this stanchion and repeat the process until the entire area is complete. There. Pretty tight? Do it on the next one too. Oh, that's what our problem is. How tight does it feel back there, Justin? Maybe. To tension the cables, leave the J-hooks on the mid-braces loose for now and hook the 15-pound cable tensioning weight to the top cable halfway between a stanchion and a mid-brace. Then tighten the cable until the cable height from the mounted surface at the weight is within 2 inches of the cable height at a correlating stanchion. Hook the weight on the next cable and tension in the same manner. If using 3 cables, tension the third cable the same way. It may be necessary to recheck the first and second cables after tightening the last cable. After cables have been tensioned, install a second cable clamp at each termination and tighten the J-hooks on the mid-braces. The last step is to install the flags or warning lines with the top cable. Well, we won't need these again until we're ready to remove the Fallban. While you're working your way around the roof perimeter and you need to work on the perimeter edge and need to remove a stanchion, the safety monitor system may be used with a competent safety person to monitor the safety of the crew while a single stanchion is removed, leaving the cables in place. Complete the work on that area, then reinstall the stanchion. Repeat the process while continuing around the roof perimeter. The Fallban system has been tested with a Missouri licensed professional engineer observing, who certified the results. Fallban meets and exceeds U.S. OSHA standards and Canadian SOR standards. Attachment to the roof, which is beyond our control, is the responsibility of the installer. Each project should be inspected to determine the strength and sturdiness of the roof perimeter edge in which a roof fall protection system might be installed. Rotted lumber or very rusted metal could mean poor attachment. During the compliance regulation testing, we used a number 12 screw to attach the Fallban stanchions, mid-braces, and diagonal braces to the roof perimeter edge with no problems. It's our recommendation new screws or lag bolts, no smaller than number 12 roofing screws, be used to attach the Fallban components, with care not to strip out the screw heads. Damage to the screw heads creates problems removing the fasteners during dismantling.